Welcome to the social science class, children. And in a previous video, I have discussed about the birth of the United Nations. But what was the reason? That also I have discussed. The reason was the arising of the two world wars. The First World War, which took place in 1914, and the other Second World War, which took place in 1939. Just to prove themselves as the supreme powers, the two powers, Axis and Allies, both of them were against each other, and Hitler, who belongs to Germany, wants to rule the whole world. What was the result of those wars? The result of those wars was simply a destruction. Every country was facing a lot of problems due to those wars. No development there, loss of human life, and finally the birth of United Nations has taken place on 24th October 1945, where Mr. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the President of US, coined the name as United Nations. 50 countries signed this charter of the United Nations, and presently we have the 193 countries who are the member countries of the United Nations, and they are cooperating each other for the betterment of the world, for the peacekeeping. That is why we call it as an international peacekeeping organization, that is United Nations Organization. The full form of UNO is United Nations Organization. As you all know that when you have some festival at home, what happened? Mother divides the work. She says, okay, my child, you will decorate the temple, the gods, things and all, and then to the elder one he gives some other work, to the father she assigned the work, or the father can also assign the different works. Why that work was there? So that finally the thing will be better. That means the division of the work. Similarly, as in a school also, we have like social department, English department, science department, all the specialized teachers are there in that each department, so that they can give you the best. In the same way, in the United Nations Organization, we have the 6 organs which functions in their areas at the best possible way. Like number 1 is your General Assembly, number 2 Security Council, number 3 Secretariat, number 4 is Economic and Social Council, number 5 is International Court of Justice, and number 5th, 6th is your Trusteeship Council. Okay, so every organ has its main role. So first I will talk about the General Assembly. General Assembly is like the World Parliament. Like in India we have the Parliament, we have the central government who takes care of the whole country. In the same way, the General Assembly is like a world parliament where all the laws are being framed for each and every country, for the betterment of the each and every country. Okay, that is the main work of the General Assembly. Then when we talk about the General Assembly, we know that it is like a world parliament. Then comes your Security Council. Security Council is the most powerful organ of the United Nations. And do you know that its decisions are final? And everyone has to follow the decisions of the Security Council. Then comes the third branch, that is your Secretariat. The work of the Secretariat is like the executive branch. What do you mean by the word executive? Executive means like when we talk about any law, like just now we are going through this pandemic of corona. Uh, we know that everyone has to be vaccinated. So the laws was made in the parliament, or the orders were given by the Prime Minister of India under certain laws that to take care of the people, every person of India should be vaccinated. What will be the next step? The next step will be the execution of that order or the law. So execution of the law means that everyone has to work on it. So how the work start? Everywhere, every state, every city, every village, the team of this vaccination was moving to the villages, to the town, so that every person can be vaccinated. You have to apply for the vaccination, and then you will get the date for it, and then you will go on that date and you get vaccinated. So this is the total process execution. And now what happens if a few group of people are destroying that area where the people are vaccinated, or creating a scene over there, or they create a strike, then what the role is? The role is of the judgment. That comes a judiciary. So the three powers are there. One is legislative, the other is executive, the third is judiciary. The law making body is that is your legislature, like the World Parliament. They make the laws. They tell us what to do. Security Council is the execution part. That the work has to be done by everyone. Every country will follow that rule which is made for the betterment or for the peace of the country, of the world. And they take care of the different programs which are launched by the General Assembly, and the policies. The Secretary General is the head of the Secretariat. Who is the head of this Secretariat? The Secretary General. Who is the head, children? We have the Secretary General. Here we have the Secretary General, and he is the head of the Secretariat. Okay, and then we have and he is also the spokesperson of the UN. Spokesperson means whenever any laws are there or whenever any programs are launched there, he is the person who will address to the different nations and tells about or do the briefing of all the policies and the programs laid down by the Secretariat. Then comes a fourth, that is the Economic and Social Council. Economic means that on the international issues like medicines, education, economic and social needs of the people are fulfilled by this Economic and Social Council. So economic word means economically every country should be sound, and social means social justice should be there. Okay, if any problems are occurring in any country, or people are not humanity is not there or equality is not there, in that case Economic and Social Council work for them. Then comes your International Court of Justice. The word itself says international court. Okay, like Nirav Modi case, he is not in a country, but now as we want, India want that Nirav Modi to be handed to the India, or any criminal when they cross the border, they reach to the case will move, that person is in other country, then we have to go to the United Nations, this branch, International Court of Justice, and we have to ask them, please hand over this criminal to a country, because due to him so much of loss was occurred in the country. Okay, so that is why the International Court of Justice there, and its headquarters is at Hague. Then come your Trusteeship Council, children. Trusteeship Council is the sixth council, but in today's life it was established to look into the transition of colonies towards independence. Clear? So this was the total setup, and we also have the different agencies which are working under them, that we'll talk in another chapter. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the main principles of the United Nations. So children, now we are going to talk about the main principles of UN. If any organization is there, we should have certain principles, certain objectives related to the organization. So when we talk about the main principles, so the first principle for this United Nations is to respect sovereignty and integrity. That we have to respect the sovereignty and integrity of the nations. Number 2, threat to peace and use of force. No country can threat to any other country. They have no right to give the threatening to any of the country. So as a result, we have to have a peace, and no use of force should be there in any country. Okay? Third, to settle disputes and disagreements. There are certain disagreements and disputes between the countries related to any topic. Maybe the water issues, maybe the nuclear bomb issues, maybe the LOC issues. So many issues are there, which are matters are there or issues are there, we can say, related to the policy or political issues are there, economical issues are there. Okay, matters are there on which the country may have disagreement with their neighboring countries. So as a result, what happened? They will sit together and they will settle the dispute and the disagreements related to any matter of the concerned countries. Okay. Now, what are the objectives of UN? Why the UN is there? To maintain peace and security in the world. Secondly, everywhere, first is that maintain peace and security. Every country should be secure. No country should be harmed by anyone, and there should be a peace in the world. To promote friendly relations, every country should have the friendly relations with each other. They should not have the treat each other as an enemy. Okay. Thirdly, to remove poverty and unemployment. Still, children, many countries are suffering from the poverty. Poverty means it is a vicious circle when the country do not have the proper food, where the people do not get the proper diet. Okay. So as a result, what happened? The children are underdiet. They are not growing also. They are suffering from many disease also. Okay. Like Somalia, once they were suffering from the food. So every country, the United Nations, they all supported. Or we can say, sometime it happens that the floods takes place or the earthquakes takes place. What is the role of the United Nations? The role of the United Nations is that they all will supply the requirements of the food, army, so that the life of the people can be saved, because life of the people is very important. Like in Corona time, we have seen that the medicines are supplied, this vaccination, this medicine was supplied to the different countries by the US or the other countries. Why? To save the people, to save the humanity, choose the humanity. Okay, so that is the reason why the people, why the UN says to remove poverty and unemployment. As unemployment is there, when the unemployment will be there, what the people will do? The young ones will become a chain snatcher or go for a wrong side. Okay, they will do the wrong things, na? And then the family will also suffer. So just to avoid all this, what they do? They try to remove the poverty and unemployment to that country which is suffering from it. Then comes to respect for human rights. Like in the case of Abhinandan, remember the United Nations and the treaty which was made at one time. So according to that treaty, he has to be rescued by the Pakistan army, in a dignity way. They cannot touch also Abhinandan because United Nations enter that and try to resolve it. So under the pressure, the Pakistan army has to rescue the Abhinandan sir. Okay, then comes to promote living standard. Yes, living standard is very important, children, because everyone wants to have a good life. Every person has a right to have a good life. Okay, even the person who are coming to you as a helping hands at home, your mates also, everyone has a good life, as a right to have that life. So United Nations helps the people when they find that any country, the people of that country is not having that standard of life. They help them to have a good life. And then finally comes, children, that what about the Constitution of United Nations? They have their own constitution, like every country has their own constitution. Similarly, the United Nations also have their own constitution, and they have their own flag and the emblem, and they have a world map surrounded by olive branches with light blue background. And what does this olive branches symbolize? These olive branches symbolize as a peace. The main aim, there are two colors which are used in the United Nations, that is blue and white. White color is again a sign of symbol for peace. Similarly, this symbolizes the peace in the world. And we all should respect the United Nations, because this is the only organization which works for the betterment of the life of the people, take care of the world and respect. So this is only the international organization which work for the betterment and the peaceful conditions should be prevailed in the world. Thank you, children.